In this video we will talk about Saitama's power and abilities. Saitama is the titular one-punch man and the strongest, fastest and most durable character in the series. So far, no enemy has been able to injure him in any way, and almost no enemy has been able to survive a single earnest punch from him. A few enemies have survived punches from him, such as any human he has struck whom he restrains himself against, and Boros, whom Saitama empathized with and held back against so as to give himself and Boros a satisfying and stimulating fight. His strength is so great that it vastly eclipses even artificial beings designed or bred specifically for superhuman combat, such as mechanical beings or the mutated warriors from the House of Evolution. Since no enemies have posed any real challenge to Saitama yet, the upper bound of his strength is likely even higher than it currently appears. While his power is only limited to heightened human traits, he cannot fly or fire energy blasts, his superhuman abilities are more than enough to compensate for the lack of variety in his powers. The origin of Saitama's immense strength is mysterious and unclear. Although he tells everyone he got his incredible power through mere physical training, no one believes him at all. According to Saitama, after a year and a half of 100 daily push-ups, sit-ups, and squats, plus 10 kilometers daily running, he had achieved some level of superhuman strength. This training was apparently so intense for Saitama that he at times felt he might die, and claims that it is what caused all of his hair to suddenly and eventually fall out. Genos believes that Saitama himself does not actually know or understand how he gained his power, and hopes to learn the secret by sparring with and observing him, while Dr. Genos believes that Saitama worked out with said training regimen so hard that he had removed his limiter. It should be noted that Saitama would complete all parts of the training one after the other without breaks and was battling monsters that appeared during that time, which would have made completing the training more intense than it would normally be expected. Despite his unbelievable physical prowess, Saitama can be outperformed by people with skills in areas outside fighting, like when he was bested by Bang in a game of rock, paper, scissors or defeated by King in video games, mostly in one-sided matches. Furthermore, he also seems to possess a normal human appetite, as he lost to Genos in a spicy noodle eating contest. Unparalleled strength. Saitama possesses seemingly limitless physical strength and is capable of effortlessly defeating powerful monsters and villains with a single, casual punch, although this strength is not limited to punches. His punches are so powerful that many monsters simply explode when struck. An example of this casual yet overwhelming offensive power occurs when Saitama launches himself from the top of a building, blasts right through a giant meteor with a punch, lands safely, and calmly decides to go home. Another instance is when Sonic tries to attack Saitama with a sword. He stops the sword by catching it with his teeth, effortlessly shattering the blade with the power of his jaw. When launched from Earth to the Moon by Boros, he used his jumping power to return to Earth in mere moments, causing a huge shockwave and leaving a massive crater on the surface of the Moon upon departure. A normal punch from him was shown to be highly destructive, even to someone as durable as Boros. A single, serious, punch from him was able to counter the latter's strongest attack, collapsing Star Roaring Cannon, an attack capable of destroying the entire planet. Not only did Saitama completely negate Boros' final attack using his serious punch, but the shockwave from the punch was also powerful enough to part clouds on a global scale. When fighting Orochi, the high-speed pressure of the lava fired from his hands was enough to overpower and see. Unparalleled speed and reflexes. Saitama possesses unparalleled speed and reflexes. So far, no other character has been shown to be faster than him. He was able to complete a 1500-meter dash in an instant during his hero tryouts. He has proven able to effortlessly keep up with Speed O Sound Sonic, who can move at above hypersonic speeds. Even Genesis computerized targeting systems have difficulty tracking him. Saitama has also shown the ability to run down a building to save a piece of salmon he was having for lunch, and leap back up said building without bystanders noticing he had even done so. His speed is so impressive that he can even outpace Flashy Flash, an S-class hero well known for his extraordinary speed, easily dodging his sword swings and catching his ultimate technique. When kicked to the moon by Boros, Saitama was able to return to Earth in mere seconds, which suggests that he can travel at least tens of thousands of kilometers per second. In addition, he was capable of easily reacting to and blocking Garuganshoops near lightspeed rocks, the speed of which being like a bad joke to him. In his fight against Monster Garo, Saitama proved himself firmly superior to and able to effortlessly keep up with him, despite the hero hunter previously being capable of creating a giant light structure alongside Platinum Sperm within only 1.3 milliseconds through sheer speed and while also in a much weaker form. Later on, while fighting Cosmic Fear Mode Garo on Io, one of Jupiter's moons, after sending countless rubble of the moon flying with his serious table flip, Saitama was able to cross immensely large distances by dashing through tons of rocks to pummel the hero hunter, having traveled across Io's diameter so fast that a constellation was created from his sheer speed. When Garo opened a portal to teleport to another location on, Saitama was able to then appear and attack him from the other side of that portal before the hero hunter could even finish moving through it, suggesting that he was fast enough to even search all of the moon for where the portal led to. During his training days, when he still had his hair, Saitama tried turning his head around super fast to see the back of his head reflected in a mirror. Despite having failed initially, in the end, Saitama was apparently able to catch sight of the back of his head. Ironically, despite his incomparable reflexes and speed, he still has problems squashing a simple mosquito. After image creation, Saitama's speed allows him to create afterimages of himself. He first used this during his training bout with Genos. He was also able to create countless afterimages via his serious side hops during his fight with Speed O Sound Sonic. Supernatural dexterity and agility. Saitama is capable of moving any of his limbs at extremely fast speeds without flinching, not stopping until his target is completely obliterated. This is seen when he flawlessly whacks all moles on a whack-a-mole machine during the Hero Association exam. He has been shown to be perfect at dodging and performing highly acrobatic maneuvers. His reflexes render him flexible enough to move through the narrowest creeks and dodge attacks at the closest proximity. When bombarded by multiple giant bullets from Boros' ship, despite being in midair, Saitama could avoid all the projectiles before kicking one of them back to the ship itself. Water running. Saitama is capable of running across ocean high speed without going into the surface of water. Superhuman stamina. Saitama has never been shown to tire out when fighting enemies. Even when unleashing a punch more powerful than a planet-destroying attack, Saitama showed no signs of fatigue. The only time Saitama was shown to be panting and out of breath from continuous running, he recovered just seconds later. Supernatural senses. Saitama's senses are far beyond the human norm. He possesses impressively sharp hearing, being able to pick up on various chatter from bystanders a good distance away even while fighting monsters and the like. He can even hear phone transmissions with well enough accuracy to gauge conversation and the contents of its dialogue. Saitama is also able to see in the dark, as he was able to spot a kid a great distance away during the night. His tracking capability is also astonishing, as he can concentrate on a fast-moving object for a long time and still not lose sight of it, as seen when he was the only person to see where Garo escaped to. Invulnerability. Saitama possesses unparalleled toughness and durability. He can withstand blows from extremely powerful beings such as Carnage Kabuto and even Boros without suffering any injury or feeling any pain. In fact, no character has actually been able to damage, or even physically harm Saitama in any way. When Genos created a huge, spherical blast of flame to kill Mosquito Girl's mosquitoes, Saitama remained standing right next to him completely unharmed, though his clothes were burnt. He also survived being kicked to the moon by Boros in his fully powered state, and going from the Earth to the moon and back with no damage from leaving and entering the Earth's atmosphere, only his clothes were slightly burnt. He even survived the harsh conditions of outer space unscathed during his brief time on the moon. It has been shown that, despite the dangers of holding one's breath in space, Saitama can do so with no negative effects on his body. Another testament to his indestructibility is that Garo, who, despite having gained unfathomable strength from monsterization, could not inflict even the slightest damage on Saitama during their fight. Notably, he was capable of withstanding Garu's extreme Fa Jin, which was powerful enough to move oceanic plates and make a continent raise up from the other side of the planet, without any damage taken at all. Against Cosmic Fear Mode Garo, who has been empowered by God, Saitama could easily withstand nuclear explosions generated by the Hero Hunter's nuclear fission at point blank, and even come out unscathed after taking his gamma ray burst head-on, an extremely powerful energy blast that was implied to be the same phenomenon as a gamma ray burst, the most powerful type of explosion known in the universe. Saitama prefers to dodge or block attacks using edged weapons, rather than take them head-on, as he sometimes does with strikes from fists or blunt objects. However, Nyan's superpowered vacuum adaptation, Saitama has considerable control over his breath. Even in outer space, he manages to hold his breath effortlessly, and he even made a jump back to the Earth from the Moon in seconds with no signs of suffocation. His body has been shown to even adapt to and survive in the vacuum of space unscathed. Several factors, like a lack of atmosphere and increased radiation exposure, are at play here, although Saitama was not affected by any of them. This was prominently shown in his fight against Garo on Io, one of Jupiter's moons, where he was unaffected by the thin and unbreathable atmosphere there. Temperature resistance. Saitama is extremely resistant to all types of temperature-based attacks. When Genos created a huge, spherical blast of flame to incinerate Mosquito Girl's mosquitoes, Saitama remained standing next to the cyborg unperturbed and completely unharmed, although his clothes were burned to a crisp. Despite being completely frozen by Withered Sprout, he was able to instantly shatter the ice and free himself, completely unfazed by the monster's assault. Saitama is also capable of submerging himself in lava with no trouble, viewing it as a nice hot tub. This ability can be attributed to him refusing to use either the air conditioner or heater during his training. Radiation resistance. Saitama has been shown to be unaffected by radiation. When he was kicked to the moon by Boros, he was not affected by the increased level of radiation in space. When fighting Cosmic Fear Mode Garo, Saitama was unfazed by the latter's nuclear fission punches, which were capable of creating nuclear explosions. He could also stand near Garo unbothered, while many other heroes present, upon mere moments of exposure, were rendered unconscious shortly before dying of the cosmic radiation emitted from the Hero Hunter. Furthermore, despite being directly hit by Garu's gamma ray burst, a powerful energy blast that was implied to be the same phenomenon as a gamma ray burst, Saitama emerged completely unscathed regardless of the excessively high level of radiation emitted from the beam. Pain suppression. Saitama could still suppress pain even before gaining his overwhelming power. This has been shown on numerous occasions dating back to his days as a middle school student, taking a beating from 2 upper-level students and, later, a wolf-level monster Piggy Bankin. He then got back up when the bullies could not and chased after the monster for his money. Other similar feats include taking strikes from Crabland and personification of a light pull cord during his training as an adult, among others. Accelerated development. Nearly a year into his training regimen, Saitama noted that as a result of his repetitive routine, his body had adapted to moving like a hero should, and his power began to explode at a rapid rate. In no time at all, he reached unparalleled levels of strength, speed, and durability through this regimen, a testament to his growth rate. However, according to Genos, Saitama himself cannot explain the secret behind his strength, and the cyborg believes that he should not have become that unbelievably powerful with only that level of training. This was further shown in his fight with Garo on Io, as Saitama's growth rate began to soar exponentially due to the upsurge of emotion he had never previously experienced. So what can you say about the strength Saitama has? Until next time. Thank you for watching.